Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another Brony Debates Live. I hope you're all doing well out there. We're going to get a good start to the weekend. I am going to have a heck of a weekend. Very early in the morning, I'm flying out to New York to visit my family for the weekend. It's going to be absolutely crazy. And for that reason, we are doing 2 streams tonight, starting with the debate. I didn't sleep at all last night, so right now I'm all hopped up on Mountain Dew and Dr. Pepper to hopefully carry me through the next 2 hours here. So here's what we're going to do. Memes. Memes are obviously the best thing that our culture has ever produced. And while browsing memes on the best of the meme apps, which is the one and only iFunny, I found this meme that you're seeing in the center of the thumbnail. You get the main 6. Here's the ground rules. We're just main 6. If they're not pictured there, they don't count. Also, you might notice that there are 2 unicorns in that picture. We got the main 6. We're going to pick one. That one's going to try to protect you from the other 5 who are trying to kill you. And we're going to decide which one of our theories is the most likely to have success. So joining us tonight, I'm pretty sure this is Vulpecula's first time on a debate. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Thank you, Tommy. I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, it's an honor to have you. We know Calbeck. Calbeck's been here quite a bit. How you doing, sir?
Aloha. I'm doing fine.
Very good. And I thought this was Angel's first debate, but it turns out I just have Alzheimer's. How are you doing tonight, Angel?
I'm doing quite well tonight.
Very good. And also joining us for the first time on the debate is Firepaw, who's been a member of the Patreon for, I think, a couple of years at this point. How's it going, Firepaw?
It's going good. I'm glad to be here.
Glad to have you. So, here's something that I try and to do with people who are debating for the first time. I'm not always successful. I think I've only managed to remember to do it a few times. Firepaw, since it's your first time on the show, tell us just a little bit about yourself.
All right. So I've been with the fandom since the beginning, even the old gens. I often work full time, and I love animals and nature, and that's what inspired the pony alicorn that you see on the screen.
Very good. Yeah, I noticed on Twitter you were called a alicorn of nature.
Yes, she started out first she started out as a Kieran, but since that wasn't originally part of the fandom, I migrated to unicorn, and then over time, as I matured, she became an alicorn, and Mary Sudum propagates.
Alrighty then.
She has ascended.
So, we're very grateful to everybody who supports the channel. I am trying to get to transition into doing content creation full-time, hopefully this year. We need to get up to, I believe, about $3,000 a month in order for me to do that. So please consider supporting on Patreon, Subscribestar, Ko-fi. All those links are in the description. Shoot, buy a t-shirt maybe. You can drop a tip in the tip jar. And you'll notice there's a tiny little Brony holding a bowl over his head on the bottom right screen there. If you drop a tip in the jar, that tip will drop in. Bigger tips or bigger rocks, and they might knock me over. And you can have your message read out to the chat. We're very grateful to everybody who donates, especially the $10 and up tier. These guys are Princess Heather Blossom, Shady Oak Ministry, Sid McConroy, Autoknight, Emerald Spencer, Senko, DJ Skywalker, Rein-Kun, Pony Cordero, QFlash, Billy Henline, Alden MacManx, EasyModeGamer, Canto Acrylic VA, Mr. Sonic 31, Ridge the Hedgehog, Alicia Lynette, Zeta Z, Sniper Nighter, Calbeck, who's with us, StarChaser, Venture Core, and Dark Malcontent, executive producer of Titan Art Studios. Go check out the description. If you want to get on the show, make topic suggestions, make game suggestions, we'd love to have you on, as well as check out everybody else's content. They make some pretty good stuff as well. Now then, let's get into it. We'll start with me, and we'll work our way leftward of the thumbnail here. So, I choose Applejack to protect me, and the reason being is simply because she's the strongest and the most level-headed, and has been shown to be able to put herself like really far out there if it means protecting people she cares about. That being, I think Fluttershy is not even a factor for people trying to kill me. Rainbow Dash has speed, but Applejack has been able to match her a lot. Twilight has magic, but I think Applejack will be able to power through that, especially, a Unicorn Twilight who was not nearly as strong as, post-season 3. The strength difference between Rarity and Applejack just turns Rarity into a pretty much non-factor. And my theory for tonight is that Pinkie Pie, of course, is going to be the wild card. I think ultimately, it just comes down to there's such a strength difference between Applejack and everybody else except maybe Rainbow Dash and Twilight that I can trust her to be able to handle whatever threat comes our way. Vulpecula, what do you think? Who's your pick and why?
Well, I am in your camp. I too would choose Applejack. So if I could choose a second, I would choose Fluttershy.
Alrighty then.
Same
So
reason.
because I already stole Applejack, you get Fluttershy tonight. Screw you.
Lol.
Hey, at least I get the Lord of Chaos on my side.
Or do
the
you?
You don't. Discord
Yeah,
is
no.
not pictured.
No outside assistance?
True. Okay, then at least I get an army of animals.
I'm pretty
Now,
sure that counts
maybe-
as outside assistance.
Yeah, yeah, but
True. Okay.
Like-
I'm going to
just-
have to go with Fluttershy having the animals because those are just expendable goons.
right, and they're kind of part of her, right? Now with Discord is a whole other character, so I believe Discord can be excluded on that principle, but Fluttershy is pretty much always surrounded by animals. Like I said, they're pretty much a part of her. So even though it's a stretch on the rule, I think we can allow it.
Okay.
All right, so Fluttershy. What else do you got beyond that? So you think Fluttershy and her pets perhaps will be able to save you? How are you gonna defeat the other 5?
Well, for one thing, Angel Bunny seems to be the bane of all of them. Also, Fluttershy has been able to crack that bear's back when she was giving him a massage. And there are times when she has been able to match Rainbow's speed. It also, mostly this is when one of her friends are in danger or if there's an animal that's in danger. She's also willing to stand up, at least in later seasons, for
The
herself.
later seasons aren't really a factor here.
Well, I think
there
the
is
only one that really transformed into a different character would be Twilight. Do you guys agree? Because
Yeah.
I mean that's a whole gosh darn physical transformation, bringing assumedly a massive power up with it.
And just to settle the issue of Fluttershy, let's just say that this happens when Discord is still in a statue. He can't do nothing. Later on, he's like, "You did what?"
Right, but that definitely raises the question of if we exclude later season Fluttershy's. I'm pretty sure it's still Fluttershy, and whatever she accomplishes over those 9 seasons, I think is well within worth considering. That's what I think, though.
Okay, then I suppose we can take Dragonshy in account. Basically, when she and the others went up against the dragon. She made that dragon cry. A fully grown dragon cry.
Well, the dragon didn't exactly want to fight either.
I know. But
It's like,
still.
you woke me up, jeez, what the heck?
Yeah, the only reason the dragon considered fighting was Rainbow Dash.
Yeah.
Right. So those are Fluttershy's perks. How is she beating the other 5?
That is a good question. I suppose that since she is an old friend of Rainbow Dash, she would basically know how most things. I mean, she did get under her skin during that competition where she and Rarity went up against each other.
Okay. And how's she getting around Pinky?
That is an excellent question. Let's see.
All right, we'll circle around back to you.
Yeah.
Angel, who's your pick?
My pick is Rainbow Dash.
Why Rainbow Dash?
Because I feel like she could really put up a fight, especially when it counts, such as in a like in a life or death situation like this.
Agreed.
I heard that.
You heard
Death
what?
Bat.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he did say 75% of it, didn't he? So
Yeah.
how's Rainbow Dash defeating the other 5?
I'm sure she'll utilize her speed and blindside each of them.
All right.
And deal a finishing blow to all 5.
Okay. And it's just that simple. There's no other factors to consider.
Like, she can't really use the Wonderbolts for help.
Right, but that's I meant, how's she gonna get around, abilities that the others might have. All right, let's move on then. Calbeck, who's your pick?
Well, mine is Pinkie Pie. And the reason is very clear, because she is canonically flustered all of the rest of the main 6 at one point or another during the show. We just heard Rainbow Dash will use her speed to blindside everybody. I'm sorry, Pinkie Pie, she tried that. It's canon. It doesn't work on Pinkie Pie. Twilight can't figure out Pinkie Pie. And Pinkie Pie's, I don't want to just say randomness, but she has so many abilities that will just pop up at any given time that I think she can just frustrate the others into giving up at one point or another, usually while laughing and throwing cake.
So you
Best
think,
ending.
Alrighty then. And Firepaw, who's your pick?
Okay, so this was really hard because I also thought Pinkie Pie at first because of the random, but I also feel like Twilight would be a good defender because of her magic. Even without the Alicorn boost, she knew so many different spells, and she does have the brain of a tactician.
True. She's got checklists upon checklists.
So how is she defeating the other 5?
So with Rarity, sorry for my stuttering. They're all trying, seriously trying to kill you, but the issue is how would they go about it? Fluttershy doesn't want to bring her animals in because she doesn't want to hurt them. Even if she wants to kill you, she wants to protect her friends. Rainbow Dash would probably go all brute and brawn, same with Applejack. That can be pretty overwhelming or underwhelming, I mean. And Rarity just doesn't want to get dirty. Even if she's trying to kill you, she's not going to want to get dirty. She's still prissy. Pinkie Pie might be an actual threat because of the fourth wall breaking, and Twilight doesn't seem to understand her, but I feel Twilight could spellbound that at some point.
Alrighty. So we've got.
Well, I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Has Pinkie Pie ever used her fourth wall breaking as like a utility? I feel like that's more of a comedy thing.
Not to my knowledge.
Well, she does have her pinky sense, which can be a utility.
Mm-hmm.
I would also like to say about Rarity there, she might be too prissy to engage personally in a fight, but she'll ruin your reputation.
Oh,
geez.
She knows ponies who knows ponies.
Does that count if she like uses Twitter to bully you into suicide?
Yes, she is cancel culture mayor.
Was cancel culture a thing back then?
Well, in the show, she actually is like canceled once or twice. She winds up having to fight battles that are basically social wars.
Mm-hmm.
Most of Rarity's episodes boiled down to that.
And let's not forget that she is the queen of whining.
Sweet and Elite, Made in Manhattan. The one with the fashion show, I forgot the title of it, was season 4.
And she was even able to cow the Diamond Dogs, who were vicious fighters, just by using passive aggressive warfare.
But honestly, though, is that really trying to kill you when she whines so much? Well, okay, maybe that might want to.
I just said she gets you so bad psychologically, you just take your own life.
I just want to end it. I just want it to end.
She does such damage to your reputation that you're just forced to commit harakiri.
Or Sudoku.
Yeah, that works.
Or if she's part of the 5-mayor team that's trying to kill you, then she's hammering your morale while the others are attacking.
And listen, I can't do math. I would literally rather do seppuku than Sudoku.
Rip.
Yeah, I do not understand that game. Alrighty then. So, let me tell you why you're all wrong. So, yeah, here's and this is what we're gonna do now, right? So, Vulpecula, your pick was Fluttershy.
Yeah.
0 fighting instinct. Like, yeah, she can get sassy and she can talk down people that don't necessarily want to fight. And she can be passive aggressive. That's not gonna work on someone who's as bullheaded as Applejack.
Agreed.
So she's, when she's trying to make Applejack feel guilty, or while she's trying to, sick her animals on him, Applejack's just gonna hurt him up, because we've seen her do that multiple times, sometimes even single-handedly. Whether if you think Winona's assistance counts or not. And she's either going to turn it back. Applejack's either going to turn that Stampede back on Fluttershy, or she's just going to kick her. And I can give you that Fluttershy is physically strong, but I don't think that's going to translate into being able to take a kick that can... we've seen what Applejack can do. She pulls plows by herself. She shakes giant trees to the point where they drop all their fruit. Have you ever actually kicked an apple tree?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I'm lucky. I'm lucky that I got family that has an apple orchard.
Lemon tree.
And one day I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna try it. I've got pretty strong legs. I've been doing martial arts for 20 years. I couldn't shake anything off with a kick. Applejack is freaking strong, and I think we often underestimate just how physically nuts she is like that. It's probably only going to take one well-placed shot on everybody except Rainbow Dash and maybe Pinky.
Well, the problem is going to be actually connecting with Pinky, who's probably not going to try and take shots directly. They're the 2 Earth ponies on the squad, sure, but Pinky is definitely not the powerhouse character.
Right, so that's why Vulpecula is wrong. Does anybody want to add or take away from what I just said?
Did you count on the stare?
The stare.
I was gonna mention that.
Me too.
Ooh.
Well, that's more of a paralysis thing than...
The stare is it's not even that. The stare is a contest of will. And Applejack, I mean, it didn't work on Discord. Discord doesn't care, right? It works on animals because they are lesser. They don't have, the God-given authority that sentient humans, or in this case ponies, have. So yeah, she can exert that authority over. I mean, shoot, it doesn't even work on kids half the time.
I was going to ask about that.
True.
Yeah, so I think this stare, it's an effective use in the Fighting is Magic game. You can use it to extend your combos, which certainly helps with someone who deals as little damage as Fluttershy does. But I think it's overplayed in the fandom of what it's actually capable of. I think if you just gotta not give a crap, and
I think
the stare.
I think the main reason is that she used it against the dragon, and people think in terms of, oh, she defeated a dragon with it. But again,
Wasn't
the dragon
stare
really
introduced after the dragon.
I believe she was
against the cockatrice.
Formally, but she was like directly giving the dragon the eyeball, and I think people kind of like retroactively went, yeah, that's her using the stare.
It was mostly used
for the win, lol.
Also, Fluttershy, so Fluttershy has 0 fighting instinct. I think she would not be able to engage any sort of head-to-head herself.
True.
And I don't think she would, and I think at any, like, sideways tactic that she could throw at Applejack would not work on Applejack for reasons I've already explained. So that's why Vulpecula is wrong.
I'll actually say something in her defense on one thing.
What?
That if it came down to her defending her ward, whoever she's defending, and she's doing it in the forest with the animals helping her, then as a defense, all she has to do is keep you alive. She doesn't have to actually defeat the rest of them. I feel that a guerrilla war fought with animal assistance by Fluttershy might be effective.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty then. Angel, your pick was Rainbow Dash.
Yes.
Okay, so Rainbow Dash is strong like Applejack, but but in a different way as well. So like if you say you put it in like RPG terms, they're both level like 90 or something like that out of a potential 99 in terms of physical strength, but one has spec'd entirely into speed and the other has spec'd mostly into strength, but also has a relative balance of all the other stats. And I think a jack of all trades is way more likely to overcome somebody who's specialized, because the enemy of the great is the good. Because if you're specialized, you've got one technique, and if that technique doesn't work the first time, then someone like Applejack's going to be able to figure you out and put a stop to whatever it is you're doing right there. And I don't think that Rainbow Dash would ultimately win a fight, a head-to-head fight with Applejack. I think there is a physical strength disparity, even if there is like a speed and maneuverability, because that speed and maneuverability is only going to help Rainbow Dash in escaping when she realizes she's being outmatched by Applejack. What do you think about that? What do you guys think about that?
Well, that may be true, but consider this: the Sonic Rain Boom. It's like her last resort move. She'll just take whoever we are to a safe distance and then use it on all of the rest of the main 6.
There's also another.
The only issue I have with the Rain Boom is it's seen more as a speed boost. So it's not really an attack, and not to mention the sound might cause some disorientation, but it's not actually going to cause you any physical harm unless she's coming directly at you after using it.
She used it to destroy a barn once.
Yeah, a sonic
They feel like it could hurt her too.
So
a
yeah,
sonic
it can
boom
be
is
used
the
it can be
pressure
used in an
cone.
offensive way.
Yeah, the pressure cone from a sonic boom can do some serious damage, especially at close range. So I wouldn't.
That canonically went off like a nuclear bomb.
Oh,
To the point where Twilight even is like, I'm hiding in the ditch over here.
Yeah.
also, do you guys remember when she and Applejack had that competition to see which one was the strongest? Well, you remember how she lifted Applejack up and then dropped her in the mud?
Remember how she couldn't even try to match Applejack unless she used her wings on everything?
Well, she's gonna do that if she's trying to kill her.
Well, yeah, but the point is that that's more to the point of what I'm talking about. She's not as strong as Applejack, and then when it's coming to a fight like that, her wings only gave her the advantage in things like speed or leverage, things like that. That's not gonna help in what's gonna essentially boil down to like a boxing match, right? That wing speed is not going to translate into that hoof speed. It's going to be best used to get away.
Well, I'm actually kind of I agree with that to an extent, but I think that Rainbow's actual biggest detraction on this is that she's something of a hothead. She will charge into battle, including when it's not well thought out. Applejack is not always the best planner, but she usually is capable of being a step ahead. Unless she is basically doing the same thing with Rainbow where they're in a deep, hot competition, which could be the case here. Kind of like, I have to be better than you. We saw that with the running of the leaves. We saw that with the sports competition, the whole thing. So they might be relatively evenly matched, I'm thinking. The real problem is that if they're relatively evenly matched, what are the other four doing at the same time? Is this a real team effort, or is it one at a time?
I would assume it's a team effort.
Oh.
In which case it would certainly make things difficult, but like I stand by what I'm saying with Applejack here, that she'd be able to just overpower all of them to such an extent that their numbers wouldn't even be a factor. The only real threats here are Rainbow Dash and Pinky and maybe Twilight. Like Twilight and Fluttershy and Rarity aren't even factors. So let's see. Moving on here. Calbeck had Pinky, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so this one is certainly tough to get around. I'll give you that.
Pinky's now, mind you, I'm talking about that only in terms of defense. As far as like going after Applejack, you go ahead.
Yeah, because she can obviously keep up with whoever she wants to keep up with, regardless of almost anything. I think the only person who could get away, the only one here who could get away from Pinky is Twilight with her teleporting. So if she wanted, because Rainbow's flying all over the place at practically the speed of light, and she's like, okay, I finally put enough distance, I can hide in this tree. Nope, I am sitting on top of Pinky's head because she beat me here by that much. So that type of thing is very difficult to maneuver around, but that just means that it's going to be required that Pinky get in close and thus negate any shenanigans advantage that Pinky might have had. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, Pinkie Pie seems to have a different form of teleportation. Where the teleportation is... I think it's kind of like the comedy gag version of teleportation, where, like Roger Rabbit said it best, because it was funny. That's the limitation. Yeah. It has to be funny for it to work, otherwise not.
You know what I loved? Remember in Maud Pie, when she had... when she, went to go get something from inside, and she left an after image.
Yeah.
You remember that? I thought that was hilarious.
She went to ludicrous speed.
Yeah, and because it was funny, so that is her thing.
Mhm.
And I think that is also her weakness then, if somebody else can think of to exploit it. But regarding her going after Applejack, I would actually give Applejack the benefit there, because Applejack is a no-nonsense character. If Applejack were to fall to Pinkie Pie, it would be because of the straight man is the butt of the joke trope.
Mhm.
Mm.
But otherwise, it would be she's too much of a straight man or straight mare to get the joke, so it falls flat.
Alrighty then.
I do
and-
like being fair in my arguments.
Yeah. And then there's Firepaw, and Firepaw had Twilight, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Twilight would have to be able to, now a Unicorn Twilight would have to be able to hit Applejack hard enough to stop her, which, like, I think she's really good at levitation, as we saw with like the Ursa, with the Ursa Minor and the
The water tower
the freaking water tower.
and milking a bunch of cows at once.
Right, so she's amazing at levitation, but is that going to translate into concussive force? I don't think it does. I think they're two very different spells. I think they're two very different types of power. So perhaps if Twilight got a hold of Applejack with telekinesis, that could be something. There's certainly a factor of whether or not Applejack could break out of that, though. And in my theory, you could have the strongest grip in the world, but first you've got to get the grip, and whether or not Applejack would even let her get that grip is the main question there. So I don't think she can generate a magic bolt strong enough to do any significant damage to Applejack, and the levitation is a coin toss in my own analysis. So what do you guys think about that?
Okay, so what I'm thinking is, what if she doesn't go about it like straight on? Because I believe she practiced with Zecora for her teleportation. So if she's able to misdirect, that's part of the tactician thing. Because Applejack, if you can hit, you can hit. The whole point is don't get hit.
That's certainly a good point, and that is, early season 3, so that counts. That's Unicorn Twilight.
Yeah.
And then she also learned from Zecora about the idea of when not to use her magic, again, fighting Trixie. Because a lot of times it's about misdirection and getting the upper hand.
Alrighty then.
So which is the only pony that would give Twilight problems is Pinkie Pie. Because that was proven in the Pinkie Sense episode, where she just could not understand how this little pink monstrosity can do what it does.
The episode where she turned into a Pokemon.
Is
He was
feeling
flabbergasted.
I would
pinky keen.
Yeah, I would say that has to go with the both of their specialties. Like you said, Twilight is a tactician. She thinks, she organizes. She's the big organizer amongst them. In fact, I was actually going to suggest that if Spike isn't there handling her list, is she as good as an organizer? But no, she is anyways. So her against Pinkie Pie, the saving grace for Pinkie Pie is you can't plan against random. And of course, Pinkie Pie problem with Twilight is Twilight, like I say with Applejack, Twilight kind of doesn't get the joke. It falls flat. So they're kind of a foil for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Not unless she applies Murphy's Law.
Interesting.
All of Murphy's laws are just...
Anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
I didn't know there was more than one
I
Murphy's
think-
Law.
Incoming fire has the right of way. Minefields work on both sides. I'm sorry, there's like 80 of them. I won't start.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy.
So
Murphy was U.S. Army, just saying.
All right. Vulpecula.
Mhm.
I need you to tell the rest of us why we're wrong now.
Hmm. Well, having some time to think about it, for Applejack, she would be a challenge. Fluttershy definitely would not want to risk her animal was getting hurt, so she'd probably have him deal with Applejack indirectly. Basically, espionage. Like, Applejack has been
Espionage.
notoriously protective of her orchard. Basically, she has been seen chasing animals stealing from her orchard, so basically divert her attention by either stealing some of her apples or causing the animals on her farm to act up. Heck, in season 1, she again with a stare. She ended up having a staring contest with the cockatrice, so she could possibly enlist the aid of a cockatrice, which would turn Applejack into stone.
Doesn't that count as outside assistance?
I suppose so. So yeah, I'm gonna.
And you're basically turning Twilight into a ninja here. And as we saw in It's About Time, Twilight is really bad at stealth.
I chose Fluttershy, not Twilight.
Oh, so I'm sorry, Fluttershy. Well, yeah, Fluttershy is equally bad at stealth. Fluttershy has never snuck into anywhere.
She got past Trixie.
That's not a high bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trixie's kind of retarded.
Oof.
And then she was like, you know, she was magically retarded in that episode as well. Like, even using retarded in the clinical sense here, the amulet was actually making her dumb, if you remember correctly.
I do.
They're putting rainbow residue in the water that's turning the parasprites into hay. Anyways, somebody in chat was saying Twilight would just teleport AJ a mile up into the air and she'd die from the fall. I'm sitting here to go like, maybe Alicorn Twilight could do that. I don't think regular Twilight has that much power, but even if she does,
it would take a lot of force. Remember in Ticketmaster, she got around town like that. She jumped herself and Spike from wherever they were in Ponyville to the library. It took her a lot of charge up and focus, which could probably, not help. But
at the same time,
struggling. If Applejack is struggling hard enough, you're trying to move something that doesn't want to be moved.
The other thing was that I was thinking Applejack might actually be able to take the fall damage. We don't know.
If she's she knows how to use it.
Yeah, have we ever seen Applejack actually take falling damage?
I don't think so.
Remember Applebuck season? She took a good amount of falling damage in that one, not being able to hit Rainbow Dash's platform.
And I think, yes, and that wasn't that high up, but at the same time, I think we have to go back. I think we have to go back as well to just the fact that she can buck all the apples out of however many trees. Her legs are capable of dealing with a lot of concussive force because they have to put it out. So I don't know. Maybe she could survive a mile-high drop.
People have survived falling from terminal velocity.
Yeah, there was a story recently.
With or without a parachute?
Without. Like, if you... Now, granted, you need some environmental factors to work in your favor, but the point is, it's been done.
Yeah, there was a story recently about a guy who fell from a bridge. It was 150 feet. I do not know if he landed.
It takes at least a couple of 100 feet, maybe even 1,000 to get to terminal velocity, though.
No, it's actually much shorter than that.
Oh, really?
And it depends on a bunch of other things.
It really doesn't, because it's dependent on the the rate of acceleration due to gravity. The only thing that prevents you from going faster than terminal velocity is the drag of the atmosphere. So the only way you're going faster is if you're way the heck high in the atmosphere to where it's thinner, where it's thin enough to let you go faster. That's why it's terminal velocity. You literally can't go any faster. Not without thrusting.
All right. Have we? Okay, so Vulpecula. Did we cover how Fluttershy is going to beat everybody else's picks?
Well, Applejack may be a dud. With Rainbow Dash, probably would use her own history, since they both grew up in Cloudsdale together. And she has been able to match speeds with Rainbow Dash. And, I mean, when she and the others were trying to get Rainbow Dash when Discord brainwashed them, she managed to. As for Pinkie Pie, probably misdirection as well. Basically, Pinkie Pie has been known to be distracted by, well, almost anything. She basically could say, oh, there's a party over here, or basically balloons. Rarity is not much of a fighter, so not really worried about that. Twilight and Applejack would most likely be the biggest threat.
Now, I don't think that Fluttershy caught Rainbow Dash in that episode. Like, and yes, I know she caught Rainbow Dash, right? But here's the thing. Rainbow Dash was being extremely lazy. Like, because of Discord's hypnosis, her, normal laziness got turned up to, like, 11. Right? So even though she didn't want to be caught, I don't think she was trying very hard. Because I think somebody who can, go several times the speed of sound, as we see her do at the end of season 2, that if that pony doesn't want to get caught, you're not catching it.
Good point.
Mm-hmm. But that takes
Not to
effort.
mention, I believe Fluttershy, in order to reach that speed, had to be goaded. I believe they tormented her with the idea of Discord winning or succeeding.
Well, in a life and death situation, that could count.
And again, I think one of the things we have to bear in mind is that the other 5 are trying to kill you, one's trying to protect you. Rainbow Dash might not have any interest in fighting any of them, just has to have you on their back and move fast enough to stay away from them. I mean, that's the easiest defense for her to mount.
Weaponized cuteness. It worked.
Hold on tight.
Alrighty then. Was that all of them? So let's move on to Angel then. Angel, how are we all wrong? How is your pick going to defeat all of ours?
See, for Fluttershy, Rainbow could easily take her on. So yeah, Applejack is definitely the challenge.
Agreed.
See, for Rarity is also not much of a challenge. Pinkie.
I am so sorry, Rarity fans.
And my apologies, I actually got ahead of myself with that bit about Rainbow Dash there, because for some reason I actually confused Vulpecula and Angel there. I am so sorry.
Don't worry, I got Vulpecula mixed up with Firepaw, and I think that's worse.
Ooh.
What?
Run now!
I bequeath thee a boot to the head.
Yeah,
I went for Jenny.
Rusty Helm in the chat says Rainbow Dash, hold on tight, accidentally kills you with the sudden G-force.
That is something to be concerned about.
Or was it an accident?
Yeah, that's another thing. I don't understand why you would want Rainbow Dash to protect you. She is so notoriously bad at keeping her priorities straight, staying focused, thinking ahead, thinking about how her actions affect other people. Anything she does to protect you, like she's gonna want to, element of loyalty and all that, and she's gonna do her best, but she's not the brightest one in the group.
Maybe not.
She is gonna want to do everything as awesome as she can as well. It's like, I'm defending you. Check this out.
Pinky's a little bit of a space case, but you can make the argument at times that she's either accidentally smart or smart in a very esoteric sort of way that not many people can understand. Rainbow Dash just straight up is not. Has probably the lowest IQ in the group.
Lower than Pinky?
Yes.
Well,
I think lower
Rainbow
than
Dash put her hoof. Rainbow Dash put her hoof to stop a dam from leaking.
Let's
that's the brightest of the
bunch. Let's bear in mind that she actually, there's an entire episode about how she is observant, though. She is, I don't want to say
subconsciously observant.
Yes.
Which comes in necessary. Do you have any, like, we had to, there used to be a Brony, and what was it? It might have been Give and Take. And Give and Take used to make compilations of every time, like, a certain word was said in the show or something like that. And one time he compiled all of the violence. And the violence was, basically anytime somebody got hit, right? And Spike was the clear winner. However, Rainbow Dash was a close second, and most of the hits that Rainbow Dash took was her flying into crap.
Ouch.
That's one of the reasons why I did not choose her, because she does have a tendency of cracking into everything.
Rainbow Crash.
Right, like she can be observant on a subconscious level, but even that has its exceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's when she's distracted. I think virtually all the time she's hit something is because she's having a conversation.
Situational.
Yeah.
And she's like right on the cusp of ADHD, so she's easily distracted.
Only
Twilight was talking about the history of the Wonderbolts for all of 15 seconds, and she had a whole musical number going in the back of the class.
And it was lovely.
Yes. That's the most ADHD thing I've ever freaking seen. And you think she would... Now, the thing with ADHD people is if you find what they're interested in at the moment, you can definitely keep their focus for a long time. You'd think she would have been focused on the Wonderbolts, especially with what was at stake here. So what else do you have for Rainbow Dash for everybody else's picks?
Well, for Twilight, I'm sure Dash could like speed around her magic, and if she teleported away, she could easily come back.
I could buy that.
Yeah.
That whole teleporting up to the sky ain't gonna work because wings.
Mm-hmm. If anything, you're giving her the... It's like, okay, thank you for putting me where I need to drop the Sonic Ray nuke.
Boom.
Yeah, something like that. And how's she going to beat Pinky? Because we've seen that she can't beat Pinky.
Nope.
She can't beat Pinky in Buckball, and she can't beat Pinky in escaping. So, Pinky's got her physically. When it comes to competition.
You got me there.
Alrighty then. I guess we
don't
move
we have
on.
We've got an audience participation to get to.
We got two more people to get to first, though. So, Calbeck, how are we all wrong?
Well, let me introduce my dissertation of 15 chapters of 1,000 words
You
each.
have
I
30 seconds. You have 30 seconds per character.
Okay. Pinkie Pie versus Rarity. Rarity becomes frustrated inside of 30 seconds and gives up.
Well, focus
Yep.
on nobody here picked Rarity.
I'm looking at the picture here. It's like, well,
Yeah.
she has to. Okay, are we talking defensive or on the attack?
How does it? You know what? Give me a little bit of both.
Okay, well, defensively, again, it's mostly just frustrating all the rest of them. And if you really want to look to her true extent of powers in both directions, you're looking at the goof off against Cheese Sandwich. They both appear to be able to do such things as summon giant piñatas out of nowhere, for crying out loud. And I don't think that they're actually doing it. It's not magic per se. It's that they were planning on having this goof off, at least even if it was on short notice. But they were able to put together all that stuff on short notice as well and carry it out and do it in a battle fashion. And
Are you out here saying? Are you out here saying that Pinkie Pie is Batman?
Yes.
So she has prep time, TM.
Depends on how much prep time.
Pinkie does not have the ability to plan ahead like that.
She has information, and she has an entire basement of information on every pony that virtually nobody even knows it's there until they stumble onto it. She literally has her own version of the Batcave. But okay, I am actually not going to put her on the same level as Batman because she does not plan ahead that far. And she's not as much of an organizer as Twilight is, but she does have the chops and the ability to do it. Just goes with being such an over-the-top party planner.
I'd say she's more like the Joker in that aspect, but less lethal.
And like I was saying before, yeah, I think you're right. But as I was saying before, like with Twilight and Applejack, they would be foils to her if she's on the offensive, because she's trying to play pranks and jokes on them that fall flat because the other party doesn't get it or it doesn't come across as funny. And it only works for her if it's funny. But on the defense, she's basically Bugs Bunny against Daffy Duck and Elmer Fudd.
Alrighty then. And Rusty Helm saying Pinkie planned birthdays literally hundreds of years in advance.
Not even kidding.
Okay, but how's that useful for this?
I guess it's just showing me that she is more capable of planning ahead than I initially gave her credit for. All right, let's move on here. Firepaw, how are we all wrong? How is your pick? How is Twilight going to defeat the other four that got picked here?
Okay, so going off of just Unicorn Twilight's magic, her goal is to protect you. Depending on her spell range, I'm sure she has an indestructible bubble or something somewhere, so you're protected. Now, if she's trying to defend you from the kill force of the other ponies, the issue with rehashing is obviously we've already accepted Rarity is just not a threat. She's not even on the board. She can do you socially, not physically. No magic there either. Fluttershy, as much as she will go Mama Bear. Sorry if there's a shower next door. Sorry. Again, Pinkie Pie's probably the bigger threat, where with magic is concerned, Applejack is just the misdirection. Rainbow Dash might need more misdirection, honestly, because of her speed. She might be the hardest to catch. But I still think magic-wise, Twilight outranks everybody in the tactician. Pinkie Pie can plan parties in advance, but planning parties might be a different ball of wax compared to trying to kill somebody.
I agree.
Quite possibly a different skill set. I think what I'm noticing here is that no matter how we slice it, this contest, of who's going to be able to protect you or who's going to be able to kill you despite the protection, is like across the board. It's coming down to it's between Pinky and Applejack.
Yep.
And with that, we've covered everybody. So let's get into audience participation here. So I'm seeing some names in the chat that I haven't seen before. So let me break this down for you. In audience participation, we've all been watching the chat as we've been talking and taking note of interesting comments or questions that we want to address at the end of the stream here. So here's what I found. We've got Harriman says, I was going to be a part of this debate, but Spike wasn't an option. We all know Spike would have won.
Yeah.
I don't think Spike would have won.
No.
Spike gets beat up intentionally and unintentionally more than any other character in the whole show.
It could be said that he's the most capable of taking the damage, but that's not going to help you much.
Yeah, exactly. And he's
gotta
small.
think
For 99% of the show, he's small. He's slow. He doesn't have like cunning. There's been a couple of times he's fought and he held his own for a couple of seconds, but it was really easy to overwhelm him, especially with numbers. So if Spike is protecting you from the main 6, you don't stand a chance. You're just dead.
How
get
about
right with Jesus?
How about if you are Spike's horde?
That's going off of the specs. Okay, so you're going off the idea that he's gone the greed
Dragon
route
greed,
of
yeah.
Dragon Evolution, and damn, I'm sorry, I'm stuttering over my words, but I don't think he'd see you as a horde or in the greed. That happened while he was still technically a child, and that was still something that could be overpowered, unfortunately, with Rarity of all people.
Aww.
Aww.
I mean, she's right. She's right. She's half right. Rarity was able to, talk him out of, get him to come back to his senses after he was, turned into a giant greed dragon. But nobody was able to overpower that.
I just wanted to give Spike the biggest possible chance for actually being a candidate there.
Yeah,
I don't think.
But yeah, if Rarity, the one that we've all basically said, nah, if Rarity beats him, then
yeah, and all you gotta do to beat Rarity, like if Rarity's trying to kill you and she's not gonna like stab you or something, she's just gonna cyberbully you into suicide. Then you just gotta be like me and not care what people think. And which is easy. Like, most people can do that. So
I will destroy you, darling! Like I care.
You just give that pony a bad main day and she's gone.
Her main brain.
I hope Heather's listening to hear me say just, Rarity sucks.
Lol.
Yeah, I'm gonna get beat up for that later, but who
pony,
cares?
I do like Rarity's character in certain aspects. She's just not gonna protect me unless I'm a piece of fabric.
I will admit that when I first started watching the show, Rarity was my immediate favorite character, and then I grew out of that when I realized what she was.
Now, I will say this about Rarity, though. She's definitely trained. Rarity, like, even more so than Rainbow Dash knows karate. Applejack just kicks things 10,000 times a day, is going to have amazing kicks. Anytime you see Rarity fight, she's in a stance. She did in at the beginning of Return of Harmony Part 2, she freaking did a tornado kick.
Yep.
And we've seen her do front kicks and side kicks and like boxing stances and tornado kicks. Rarity is trained. So there is that. I
That
still think
begs the
she's too
question-
physically weak for to make a difference.
Yeah, I think she's got the standard strength of a pony. You may be right that she's trained, maybe in self-defense growing up in Canterlot.
She grew up in Ponyville.
Did she grow up in Ponyville? I thought
Yeah,
she,
her dream was to live in Canterlot. That's episode 1,
you're right,
dude.
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only one that lived in Canterlot was Twilight. Everybody else was either Ponyville or Cloudsdale.
Anyway, yeah, so definitely some training there. Still not strong enough to back it up.
Yeah, too bad we never see her do that ever again, basically. I mean, once or twice, maybe, but...
Yeah, so let's see here. Okay. Let's see here. Harriman also says the real question is, do they have to be defeated or befriended? Because befriending means, some of them have a cakewalk. So that's certainly something. The others are trying to kill you. Can they just be talked down? I think that sort of defeats the whole purpose of the thought experiment here. So I'm going to say no, personally. What do you guys think?
I'm gonna go off the aspect that they're already friends, and then suddenly, for some odd reason, they want to either protect and kill you. So they're already pushing the friendship thing aside. I think the only person that could probably be talked down into giving up is maybe Fluttershy because of the kindness, but the others would not care.
Fluttershy would certainly be trying to do the talking down. That would probably be her go-to strategy there. Paladin Pony T says, Brawny Buck, if AJ is so strong, how did she get trapped and Spike at your service? Okay, so I am going to give you a half point on the fact that plot convenience is a thing. However, it does not matter how strong you are if you cannot get the leverage.
I would say real quick that the idea of them, going at it like this would have to be a mind control episode.
Yeah.
I mean, it could even be a Discord being a jerk episode for all we know.
Or it could have, something else, going back to Spike at your service here, she could have gotten her trapped in such a way that, branches or vines of all those sticks were winching. So the harder she tries to pull, it just makes it tighter. So you're still dealing with a leverage problem there.
Oh, Chinese
actually was wrong.
Yeah. Oh, let's see here. Rusty Helm says, I don't think Rainbow Dash put all of her points into speed. Rainbow canonically knows karate and has stupid agility, and Rainbow nuked a barn. So those are all points in Rainbow Dash's favor. I can't really do much to argue against those. Other than, try to contrive reasons why they wouldn't work, which is pretty much what I did.
Lol.
Yep. Let's see here. I see Nightstar Studios says, time check. I know I'm trying to get out of here. Paladin Pony T says, Brawny, Twilight could teleport. Oh, we teleport Applejack. We covered that. Christopher Jones says, if on offense, Twilight would skip Applejack and go straight for just killing you. She's too smart to go one-on-one if she doesn't have to, which goes more to Firepaw's tactics point. Like, yeah, why are they like, we're trying, the other five are the one is trying to protect you, but what if they fail to protect? What if they don't even bother with a fight? They just, it's like, okay, I'm just going to work around you to get to my target.
Yeah,
So
which when you're looking at it that way, again, the scale goes Fluttershy wouldn't be able to get near you, Rarity would not be able to get near you, Rainbow Dash would be able to get near you if there was a lot of aerial room. If you're somewhere in like a building outside of the barn nuking, say she's not able to do a barn nuke, maybe there's too many casualties if the person is smart enough.
Twilight could pull a dead shot and just ricochet a magic bolt off of like a plate or something, or a mirror. And
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is the only ones that can do close combat like that, like just going straight for you, would be Pinky and Twilight.
Come to think of it, Twilight's best defensive position would probably be in the old crystal mines under Canterlot. She has a familiarity with them from the issues with Cadence, and it definitely restricts most of their abilities to get in close.
We didn't really put much thought into venue though. Like I think that it certainly adds another layer to things. Paladin Pony T says, Brony, you've forgotten that Rainbow Dash can use weather too, and that's certainly something we never thought about. Yeah, Rainbow Dash just freaking electrocutes whoever's trying to get close to.
Zap, zap.
I think Fluttershy might be able to do that too.
She's able to.
She's done it before.
Like, in a physical sense, like, but, you know, does she know how? Because
Probably
you see,
not.
if you don't know how to handle a storm cloud, it's just going to shock you.
Yeah.
Twilight has actually done that, though, hasn't she?
I don't know. I know she can do cloud walking spells. Anyway, let me see here. And then Alexander Reeves just says Twilight would just teleport you away, which is, you know, more to a defensive type of thing. It's like, okay, I can't stop you from getting close to him, so I'm just going to put him where you can't find him. You know, my protector. So, did anybody else see any chat that they want to address really quick?
No, I'm good.
So yeah, Rusty Helm set to Kamodra Steel just because Rainbow Dash is named after rainbows doesn't give her the speed of light. If we take the death battle into consideration, then I believe they stated Rainbow Dash is around Mach 5 at best.
Yeah, I remember seeing a meme on My Little Brony years ago that calculated what Rainbow Dash was, the force that Rainbow Dash was needing to pull in order to do a sonic rain boom while ascending. And it was, yeah, something to the effect of like 5 times the speed of sound.
And by the way, that was not the maximum, that was the minimum.
Yeah.
She needed to hit at least that speed in order to achieve the effects that we see. All I can say is regarding Pinkie Pie, whatever happens, this will end in balloons.
All right, we're gonna get on to the next stream. I'm gonna close this one out. I've actually got to make a phone call really quick, so I'm gonna be about 5, maybe 10 minutes behind, and then we're gonna get set up over there. So, but stay tuned to this channel. We're gonna go live for Friday Night Fights at 9:30. And you're going to be seeing some of these guys there. Angel is playing with us, Calbeck and Vulpecula. We're going to be doing some Team Fortress too. So I hope you'll tune in with us and enjoy that. So real quick, Firepaw, just, tell us one thing you learned tonight.
I'd say one thing I learned tonight, other than the universal agreement that rarity is not a competition, it is just the unpredictability that comes with a scenario like this, and Pinkie Pie. Pinkie Pie is unpredictability at its core.
Alrighty then, and Vulpecula. Since it's I'm trying to wrap this up quick here, so I'm not going to get to everybody. But since it's your first time tonight, Vulpecula, tell us one thing you learned.
Well, basically, it's definitely an interesting topic, and well, I'm pretty much in agreement with Firepaw.
Alrighty then. So, with that, if you guys are not staying to watch us play some Team Fortress 2, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe and God bless out there. We're very grateful to everybody who supports the channel, especially the $10 and up tier. Princess Heather Blossom, Shady Oak Ministry, Sid McConroy, Autoknight, Emerald Spencer, Senko DJ, Rein-Kun, Pony Cordero, QFlash, Billy, Alden, EasyModeGamer, Kanto, Mr. Sonic, Ridge the Hedgehog, Alicia, Zeta, Sniper, Calbeck, who's with us, StarChaser, VentureCore, Dark Malcontent. Check out all their links in the description, as well as how you can support the channel and get on the show as well. We'd love to have you. And with that, once again, stay safe. God bless. We'll see you on a Friday Night Fights in just a couple of minutes here. And say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Night, night.
Good night, everybody.